We are now reconvened in open session. We will now consider action on closed session items. Mrs. James.
Mr. Burdine, there is no action on closed session items.
I'm sorry.
We should go to the activity reports.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Mr. Rosenthal.
Okay, activity reports since last month. Principal appreciation reception, regular board meeting. Superintendent summative evaluation, James Reeves. Technical Education Center dedication ceremony. HLSR annual golf tournament. Board of Trustees and executive team building meeting. Gulf Coast Association of School Boards meeting. Holocaust Remembrance Tour. 3rd annual FBISD Men's Choir Festival. Helfand grand opening. Board workshop meeting. Houston Touchdown Club Scholar Athlete Award. Interfaith Breakfast. Fort Bend Chamber Tour of James Reese Career and Technical Education Center. Totally 80s birthday celebration in honor of Mr. and Mrs. Madden. Sugarland 95 Memorial Blessing Event. Regular board meeting. Reception for State Board of Education. Regional playoffs for volleyball. Men's Choir Festival, I think I said that already. TMEA Region 13 Veterans Thanksgiving Luncheon.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. Next up are our special reports. Do we have any special reports this evening? I'd like to make a brief special report. The other day, the Chamber Education Division hosted, thank you to Mr. Rice, hosted a tour of the James Reese Career and Technology Center. And it was a wonderful tour. I learned more on that tour than I'd ever learned in here or ever read about, and maybe that's my fault. But I was really encouraged by the fact that we start in 3rd grade touring that center so that we can start to engage our students at such a young age. I think, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and they come back in 8th grade and tour it again. So I was just really impressed by that, and I thought that that was important to share with the community and the rest of the board. There's many encouraging programs, I guess you could say, that I was aware of, but I didn't really know how in depth and that they really were. And what we're offering our students is first class, and I was really encouraged by that. I mean, it's real career and technology training, and I didn't think that it was going to be otherwise, but I was just really encouraged by the tour, and I just learned a lot, and I wanted to share that with everybody. Nothing formal. I got a little ahead of myself and went to action items first instead of, it was not closed session items. May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I move to approve the consent agenda items 11A through 11E in their entirety as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Rice and a second by Mrs. James. Do we have discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We will now consider action on our action items. First being 12A1, consider approval of a resolution designating a delegate and an alternate to the 2020 General Assembly of the Houston-Galveston Area Council.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Trustees designate Allison Drew as a delegate and Jason Burdine as the alternate to the General Assembly of the Houston-Galveston Area Council for the year 2020.
Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. James and a second by Mr. Rice. Do we have discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Motion passes. Moving along to 12B1, consider approval of a resolution casting Fort Bend ISD's vote entitlement for candidates nominated to serve on the 2020-2021 Board of Directors for the Fort Bend Central Appraisal District.
I move the Board of Trustees equally divide and cast its 1,335 votes entitlement amongst the 5 candidates nominated to serve on the Fort Bend Central Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Helliger and a second by Mr. Rice. Do we have discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Motion passes. We will now review future board meeting agenda items. Dr. Dupree.
Yes, sir. In December, we're going to be visiting on the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. We're going to do a property update in closed session, as well as discuss potential changes to goals and objectives and the superintendent evaluation for the current school year. And then in January, we get busy with planning for the next school year with a number of items like the Bond Oversight Committee, new instructional programming, as well as the TAPER report and annual hearing, consideration of the 2021 calendar. And then in February, we'll get into the demographic updates and then the master, let's say the facilities master plan, as well as the annual enrollment review.
Thank you, Dr. Dupree. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
This meeting is now adjourned.